Hey, everyone, and welcome to Real Life, Real Crime Daily for Wednesday, March 21st. And I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agavino. And did you hear that, folks? He's back.
He's back.
With a vengeance.
Back and alive.
How you feeling, buddy?
I feel so much better. It's not 1,000,000%, but I'm 1,000,000% better. Shitty, tough week, but y'all carried it, and I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate KJ, Kelly Jennings, for doing it. First time in 5 years that I missed everything, but I got to enjoy y'all. So
I'm looking at him, Jim. I'm thinking we're taking a certain risk today.
I'm thinking he came back fast because he was like, God, I got to get back.
yeah.
Well, that's So we were an afterthought that way as well.
Hey,
so
and you diet for you. I lost 10 pounds last week, didn't smoke nearly as many cigarettes. Didn't drink any beer.
You saved money.
What? Yeah, didn't drink.
What about the Drizzly we said?
Drizzly.com are my jam and my people. Best home delivery alcohol system in the world.
Yeah, I agree.
Not Norwood, Louisiana.
Woody, were you able to use your new ZocDoc service? I mean, how'd you get?
ZocDoc is the bomb. My doctor, who I found through ZocDoc, Miranda, she's fire, she's love, and took care of me because I certainly wasn't able to take care of myself. But ZocDoc.com, y'all, if you're sick, you're down, you're out, you need to see somebody, a highly ranked professional, fast, go to ZocDoc.com and use code RLRC.
Okay, but we can't promise every doc will be fire. I mean, I don't know how you got the Woody Overton.
When your doc calls you at 9 o'clock at night, yeah, that's fire.
Oh, that part's fire. Okay, I got the fire.
I would hope that they're all top ranked professionals. The insurances and everything. Mine worked. Just the care and the love, and it was because of ZocDoc.com.
Beautiful. Well, Woody, there's a story that's dominating the headlines.
Yep. So, y'all, I'm going to throw this one out there real quick. It'll just take a second, so bear with me. Former President Donald Trump has not been arrested yet. I think it's all a big political ploy, but guess what? We're not bringing you politics here on Real Life, Real Crime Daily. If he gets arrested and the world riots, certainly we'll cover it. Other than that, that's all I have to say about it.
Ditto.
And folks, if you do care about politics,
if y'all,
the Death of Journalism, Death of Journalism podcast with John Ziegler,
go listen to it. Listen all day long if you care about politics.
It makes you smart,
right? Makes you smart. And we're here for true crime, and I'm gonna kick off the first story. We've been talking about the story. I told you from the beginning it's going to end up being a murder charge still, but Nathan Millard, who was a Georgia businessman, everybody knows, came to Baton Rouge, went missing for about a week. They found him wrapped in plastic in a large piece of carpet, and Baton Rouge City said what they said, whatever, no foul play.
No foul play.
Yeah, no foul play. Well, guess what? That's bullshit. But I'm going to just touch you up on it real quick. So on Sunday, March 19th, the police actually got a warrant signed to arrest Derek Perkins, who was with Nathan Millard in hours that led up to his death. Investigators say Perkins allegedly wrapped Millard's body. I'm going to take allegedly out. Well, anyway, we'll just say allegedly. Investigators say Perkins allegedly wrapped Millard's body in a plastic and a large rug after the Georgia's businessman accidentally overdosed in a house on Laurie Burgess Avenue, which, if you're from Baton Rouge, that's a new name for the old East Washington Street. Not a great neighborhood. But Perkins rode around the Baton Rouge area with Millard's body in the trunk for 2 to 4 days until the odor got too bad, and he dumped the body on Ontario Street behind the Abandoned Roads Funeral Home. Now, y'all remember they weren't releasing that location, so they have released that. But it was later located on Monday, March 6th. And according to the BRPD, Perkins was arrested on Monday, March 20th for his involvement in improperly disposing of Millard's body. According to the arrest documents, Millard and a few others reportedly sought out Perkins, a known drug dealer who goes by the name of, can you guess it, Jim Chapman?
OG drug dealer?
Nope. You got a guess?
Bunny. Bunny's a drug dealer and the mayor of Kingstown.
This guy's name was Stanky.
Oh, it's close.
Hell yeah.
But they spell it Stanka, Stanka.
What you got for me, Stanky?
Stinky got my shit.
Stanky got something stinky in his trunk.
So police said Millard met up with Stanka. No, I'm sorry. Police said Millard met up with a man at the Greyhound bus station where he withdrew money from the ATM. We told you all about that. People close to the case told police that Millard and the man walked along Florida Boulevard where they met a female prostitute. I bet her name might have been Stanka, too.
It might have been. Miss Stanky.
Stanky. God. And then they got in touch with Derek Perkins, that's Stanka, y'all, while looking for drugs. Perkins picked them up in a light blue Toyota Camry. Police said witnesses told them there was already another woman in the car. Might have been Stanka's sister.
Yeah.
From there, the group drove to a convenience store on Nicholson Drive, which is the last place police say Millard was seen on camera. But through the course of our investigation and after interviewing people who had contact with Millard, they were actually Millard and some other individuals were out looking for drugs. That's according to BRPD. Police said Millard and Stanka eventually drove away and went to a house in South Baton Rouge on Laurie Burgess Avenue where Millard allegedly overdosed on a drug called Blue Magic. Now, I said this from the beginning, but the next part I'm about to tell you. Blue Magic, but it had some form of fentanyl in it. So they believe it was fentanyl, y'all, that he took in. Somebody might have given him some Narcan, but Stanka tried to alter the car afterward. He changed the license plate several times before. Now, how do you get several license plates changed? They should have charged his ass with theft of license plates, unless he just had a collection, but whatever. He changed the license plate several times before burning it. Now, I'm pretty sure Stanka didn't have full coverage insurance, so that insurance crime wasn't a charge if he had insurance at all. But police found the burned car on Osceola Street less than a mile from Millard's body was found, according to the warrant. So there you have it. Now, I will give you all this little bit of knowledge. I can assure you they're going to come out and charge somebody with the actual giving of the drugs to Millard in Louisiana. We did the first case that I know of in like 2003 here in Livingston Parish, where three young men, tragically, I say men, three young teenagers, were at a bonfire, and somebody gave them a bunch of oxys, and they all OD'd on them. We found them dead the next morning. So we charged the person who gave them the oxys with second-degree murder. And I hear that on this case, they're getting their ducks in a row, getting the other witnesses to testify who actually gave the Blue Magic with the fentanyl in it. So there will be a second-degree murder coming out of this, and we'll keep you updated on Real Life, Real Crime Daily, because this is where we talk about true crime shit.
TC. Yes. So, just when you thought it was safe to not hear the word Murdaugh.
Oh, yes. Here we go. The gift keeps on giving. It's kind of like herpes.
That's right. It just keeps coming back to you. They're like the Terminator.
Not that I've ever had herpes, because I haven't.
Yeah. Not that you're speaking from experience.
Right.
All right. I get it.
It could be crabs, too. I'll defer to Mike's knowledge on that one.
Blue Claws.
Blue Claws. All right. So Buster Murdaugh says he had nothing to do with Stephen Smith's 2015 hit and run death.
Bullshit. I'm sorry. Excuse me. As
Smith's mother prepares to exhume his body. So the older son of former attorney and convicted murderer Alec Murdaugh is pleading to have his name omitted from news coverage of the death of a young man in 2015.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Sure.
I'm pretty sure I'm owed some more beer on something because somebody took a 2-week outside bet on how long the girlfriend was going to dump him. I'm pretty sure it's been like a month and a half.
Okay, I was
but
hoping.
The only thing that made me remind he wants his name out of the media. Well, fuck, I guess you do.
I was hoping you were going to forget that, Woody. Yeah. But we actually don't have proof that she's still with him in that.
We don't have proof either way.
I mean, he's staying there, but is she there with him?
And that's a story inside a story, folks.
So I lose. I'm 0 for 4 lifetime against Woody.
We'll quit it often. That's why I have a drizzly.com.
So it's important to mention that Buster Murdaugh has not been connected with the death of Stephen Smith, who was 19 when his body was found on a country road in South Carolina. The discovery was made roughly 15 miles or so from the Murdaugh home and 2 to 3 miles from Smith's vehicle, which had run out of gas. These baseless rumors of my involvement with Stephen and his death are false, Buster Murdaugh said in a statement. I unequivocally deny any involvement in his death, and my heart goes out to the family. I'm requesting that the media immediately stop publishing these defamatory comments and rumors about me.
Lawsuit.
That's exactly right. And he's putting it out there so that he can say, hey, I told y'all to quit talking about it. Now, a July 8th, 2015 autopsy reported by pathologists at the University of South Carolina determined that Smith had been struck by a vehicle. It cited as evidence for that conclusion a stretched brainstem, irregular abrasions and contusions, and blood in his airways. The report also ruled out gunfire, noting the absence of projectiles or bullet fragments in the body. Non-medical investigators believe Smith's body had a defensive wound, which is a factor that may have led law enforcement to see the case as a possible homicide.
Didn't they not find any vehicle damage sign?
That's correct. So they had really no evidence at the scene that you would look for in in a crash where a pedestrian was hit. You would look for broken glass, cracked signal covers, all of those things. Kind of
my experience. You get hit by a car, there's shit on the roadway. Period.
Right.
If you're dumped, there's not.
This was a pretty remote country road, as I recall. Is that right?
Yeah. That's correct.
Probably the last place you'd want to run out of gas.
Yeah. Well, there's no debate. He ran out of gas.
Well, did he run out of gas or did somebody empty his gas tank?
No, he ran out of gas because he called his dad on the way while he was walking and said, "I'm out of gas."
I did not know that.
So he definitely ran out of gas.
Okay. I'm not trying to get sued by this asshole. But the whatever I watched before, they alleged that he was in some type of sexual relationship with the Murdaugh boy, right?
That is he alleged. And, what the conspiracy theory, I guess, at this point is that he called Buster to come pick him up after he talked to his dad. And, I want to say they have a cell phone record where he called him, but I'm not 100% sure.
Late at night, wasn't it late at night? That would be an official booty call.
So there was no evidence at the scene. As I continued, doctors disagreed that Smith's demise was anything other than a hit and run. The driver of the vehicle allegedly involved has never been found. Now, Murdaugh said he suffered harassment by members of the media. They followed him during road trips, parked outside his residence, and they even captured photos of him inside his Hilton Head Island home.
With or without his girlfriend?
That's
you
the
already
question.
won. Leave it alone.
I'll have to look it up. I have tried my best to ignore these rumors about my involvement of Stephen Smith's tragic death that continue to be published as I grieve over the brutal murders of my mother and brother, Murdaugh said. He added, I love them so much and miss them terribly. Now, There was a news conference, and in that news conference, Ronnie Richter, a lawyer working the case, said in a response to a reporter's question about Murdaugh's statement that the legal team had nothing to say. We're not mentioning Buster's name one time. This is not about Buster Murdaugh. So this is about Stephen Smith. There's no reason to discuss Buster Murdaugh. There's no comment to make back to Buster Murdaugh. Richter's partner added, as we sit here today, Buster is a victim. He lost his mother, a brother, and now his father is in jail. Buster, as we know, has nothing to do with this, and whatever is mentioned, that's what investigators are going to look at. But we have no knowledge about the Murdaughs having anything to do with this right now. We're starting with a fresh set of eyes.
Well, except that we were told that they found evidence relating to Stephen Smith's death on the property, Moselle, during the murder investigation.
We were?
Yeah.
Oh. I never heard that.
Yeah, that's why they started looking at it, but they've never said what evidence they found.
You sure?
I'm not sure about that, but I can tell you this. My professional opinion would be there's no such thing as this many coincidences, this many dead bodies on whatever. Certainly, I have no direct knowledge, but I'm going to tell you something. You get hit by a car where it causes that kind of trauma to the body. I mean, I've worked so many. I've just recently, last year, a guy from Saudi Arabia ran over a student from Saudi Arabia, ran over a guy on the bicycle late at night when he got his homie, his boy to come. He said, hey, I got my car stuck on the levee. And he takes him out there, and the guy doesn't know anything about the body. He just pulls up and sees all this shit in the road and sees the car up on the levee, the lights facing another direction. So I polygraphed him. I said, did you see a body? And he didn't. And he said, but I knew there had been an accident. Well, he hit the guy and knocked him about 30 yards in the woods. So the other thing is if there's a body in the middle of the road, it just doesn't happen. If you get hit, you're getting knocked. And the first thing you lose, most people don't know that. What's the first thing you lose?
Your life?
Shoes.
I've never seen somebody get hit where they didn't lose at least one shoe.
And he's lying in the middle of the road with his shoes on.
There you go.
Well,
so Woody believes absolutely this was a murder.
I have no direct knowledge, but something doesn't pass.
He was
smell test.
Yeah, you don't doubt he was hit.
Yeah. No. I doubt he was hit. I think
you don't doubt he was murdered. You just don't know who did it necessarily.
I don't believe he was hit by a car right there in the middle of that road, and there's no signs of it.
Well, his mother wants to get to the bottom of it, obviously, and she started a GoFundMe page to raise money a couple of weeks ago to exhume the body. That stuff ain't cheap, y'all.
Yeah.
And perform an independent autopsy after questions obviously were being raised. Now, it's a good, we're going to kind of end this story on a good point, and that is Smith said the autopsy cost about $7,000. And a medical examiner about $750 an hour.
Right.
The fundraising page in just a couple of weeks has raised $44,140, which is almost 3 times its original goal of $15,000.
Yeah, and hearts go out to the families, all the families in this shit show. Hopefully they'll find some answers.
Amen on that.
Yeah, and you got to go back to who the family was. This why this story garnered so much national attention is because of who the family was and their connections, et cetera. And now this certainly predated the execution of his other son and wife and all that shit. And then throw in the housekeeper too. You just don't have that many dead bodies in your life. This just doesn't happen.
You don't believe in coincidences.
Nope. No, it's not in a homicide investigation. No, I don't.
Yeah, and that GoFundMe's now got over $60,000 in it, and so unless she put it in Silicon Valley Bank, she's probably doing pretty well.
Jeez, I agree with you on that.
Just to clarify on this thing, so SLED has opened an investigation into the Stephen Smith death based upon, quote, information gathered during the course of the double murder investigation of Paw and Maggie. They didn't write Paw. I just did that. Of Paul and Maggie Murdaugh.
Oh, no.
Paw and Maggie.
This Officer Crosby from SLED added that that this is a fresh set of eyes. So SLED opening its own investigation, and the investigation will include evidence and statements, quote, gathered during previous investigations. So whether they actually found something during the double murder investigation or otherwise, that's what led SLED to be involved.
Throw it out there if you don't know what SLED is. Basically, that's their state troopers, South Carolina's, or their major law enforcement division. All right.
Yes,
or
it
could
is.
mean South Louisiana Educational Department.
It could mean
Okay.
slow learners eat dicks.
Moving on.
Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gifts to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
Moving forward, Let's go to Oklahoma, where the wind isn't the only thing sweeping across the plain.
Oh, my God. What are these people doing, man? Go ahead.
Lawrence Paul Anderson pleaded guilty to 3 counts of murder in the first degree. Let me tell you the story of Mr. Anderson. He's been sentenced to life in prison without parole. This was on Wednesday, for the murder of his uncle, his uncle's 4-year-old granddaughter, and a next-door neighbor woman whose heart he cut out and cooked.
Tastes like pork, I bet. I told you.
Got that right.
I don't know, the heart might be a little different.
Court documents revealed that Lawrence Paul Anderson, 44, confessed to stabbing 41-year-old Andrea Lynn Blankenship, his 67-year-old uncle Leon Pye, and his uncle's granddaughter K.S. Yates to death on or about February 9th, 2021. So this is a case that is a couple years old and finally getting into the courts. This all happened in Chickasha, Oklahoma. He also admitted to injuring his aunt, Delcy Pye. Pye suffered a broken tailbone and ribs and can only see out of one eye because the other was allegedly gouged out by Anderson. A lot of eye gouging this week as well.
Houston ate it.
Okay. So according to the Oklahoman, big paper there in Oklahoma, Blankenship was Pye's neighbor, as we said. The publication reported that Anderson confessed to killing her. He broke through her back door. He stabbed her approximately 40 times before gouging out her eye. Her eye wasn't the only thing he cut out. As long as he was stabbing her 40 times, he had easy access to some other organs. So he brought Blankenship's heart over to his aunt and uncle's house.
Nice.
There, he cooked the heart. What vegetable goes best with the heart?
I don't know, but he should put some
with potatoes.
Boom seasoning on it.
He cooked the heart with potatoes to feed his family, quote unquote, to release the demons.
Yes.
After trying to serve the heart to them, Anderson then assaulted his aunt, uncle, and their 4-year-old granddaughter.
Told you to eat that shit.
Anderson pleaded guilty to 3 counts of murder in the first degree, 1 count of assault and battery with a deadly weapon, and 1 count of maiming on Wednesday.
They left out cannibalism.
His sentencing was part of a plea deal not to seek the death penalty at the request of the victims' families. I guess the families didn't want to relive all of this crap in court and didn't care about giving them the death penalty, so it was a plea deal to life without parole.
Yeah, well, what I like most about cooking is the smell. Now I'm wondering what a heart smells like when it's cooking.
Well, here's maybe the worst part of this whole thing is that it was all a mistake. The murders happened after Anderson was released early from prison in a January 2021 mistake. Again, according to the Oklahoman, Anderson was freed months after Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt commuted his prison sentence. But a grand jury investigation confirmed that Anderson was ineligible to have his sentence commuted. So how the hell does that happen?
I don't know. But, I mean, I just don't get it. That one might take the cake. Heart, I guess he sliced it up.
And is anyone surviving to sue? I mean,
I don't know. Maybe the 4-year-old. I'm not making light.
No,
I'm sorry. They killed her. No, the one with the eye cut. No,
they're all killed.
Oh, damn.
He killed everybody.
He killed them good.
He killed them thoroughly good. Tasha Yates, who is the daughter and the mother of the 4-year-old who was killed, swore at Anderson in court before leaving, yelling, "Who kills a baby? Who does that? On Judgment Day, I pray your heart is full of fear." She yelled at him.
What fear tastes like in a heart. Yeah. Hey, I got to make a comment.
Nut job.
The absolute nut job. They should kill his ass. Somebody probably kill him in prison anyway. But last week when y'all did the story and I wasn't here about the dude from Houston on death row, cutting out his own eyes and shit. You a bad motherfucker if you can gouge out your own eye. But now this guy cuts out the eye. They didn't say if he ate it or not, so they must have found it. I bet the eye tastes like fish, like sushi.
Gummy bears.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite story we did without you last week?
I liked a lot of them, but that one I had been keeping up with anyway. That's a bad dude.
How about my hillbilly hand fisherman?
That was yes. I defer.
Bigfoot was closing in.
I defer because Bigfoot was there. Here we call it the Rougarou.
That's right.
The Rougarou is the Cajun Bigfoot. It's half man, half werewolf. So this dude saw the Rougarou. Y'all got to go back and listen to the episode. It's funny as fuck. I'm sorry.
Well, half man, half werewolf sounds a lot scarier than
the Rougarou is a real deal.
I mean, he
Sasquatch,
didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, he said, "Hey, look, if it was you and I don't have to be fast. I just got to be faster than you."
That's it.
He made sure he was faster than him because he.
Oh, he made
killed
logical.
He knew
made
the
logical
Right,
choices
yeah,
given
absolutely.
the.
I mean, being
dilemma.
the fact that Sasquatch was there.
Yeah.
I mean, but like
He's
you
gonna
said,
go for the easy
I don't
kill,
believe.
right?
See, now this asshole in this story is from Oklahoma too, right? And so maybe they should have asked him about Sasquatch before he ate the heart. You know, the heart. Let me tell you something. The heart has, because I do it on deer. You have to take out the ventricles, right? The valves, the whatever the fuck you call these things, the blood runs through. You got to get those out. And then you can fillet it open like that and cut it open. I mean, hopefully he didn't try to serve it to him by just cutting it with the tough shit in it.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why they bucked up on him.
I eat artichoke hearts.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Those aren't nearly as big a problem as.
Well, probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
No.
No valves in those.
But the heart is good, but you can't freeze it. You got to eat it fresh, for real.
Huh.
That's how the Indians used to do when they killed buffalo.
What does it taste like?
It fucking tastes like steak. It's great.
It tastes like any other piece of.
No, it doesn't. It has a more distinct, more like steak flavor, but for some reason you can't freeze it. So there you have it.
I wonder if the Liver King. Y'all heard of the Liver King?
Hey, you ever ate boudin?
Yeah.
Full of liver. Boudin is mostly pork liver with a small amount of pork and rice.
Have you ate boudin, Mike?
Oh, but we're going to bless you. All right,
We call that, where I came from, we call that foie gras.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't eat liver by itself.
I don't know that you would compare boudin and foie gras, but.
I don't eat the other rich people shit either. What's eggs, caviar. I don't like anything that tastes like fish. Sorry. Go.
Caviar.
We've got a cold case story that I guess starts out in Mississippi and ends up in Louisiana. So
this is interesting.
Woody going to call upon you for some expertise here. But a newborn girl was found inside of a garbage bag in a dumpster in Picayune, Mississippi in April of 1992. So 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
The parents of that newborn have been arrested in connection with the baby girl's death. Inga Johansson Carrier and Andrew Carrier, both now 50, face charges of first-degree murder in the death of the child. According to the Louisiana State Police, the newborn's cause of death was perinatal asphyxia due to smothering. The case was classified as a homicide, but there wasn't enough evidence at the time to convict anyone. The Picayune Police Department and detectives with the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations decided to reopen the case in August of 2021. With the help of advanced technology, DNA profiles and fingerprints were developed from the preserved evidence. That's according to the Louisiana State Police.
Shout out to them for preserving it. Can't tell you how many cases I had, and we go back and shit's got lost or whatever. That's a long time.
Yep. So
just think about 30-something years that baby's been, or that evidence, the bag and what have you, has been laid up somewhere in some dark corner of a room. And now with DNA, 91 DNA was almost unheard of, or 92.
Yep. So is that what's going on across the country now with all these a bunch of cold cases being reopened because of it.
And especially in the state of Louisiana. Governor Bobby Jindal, when I was with state police, I bodyguarded him for his inauguration, and that's the only thing he did because he fucked us the rest of the time in office. He didn't give us raises every year because he kept doing budget cuts. But the one thing he did that was positive was he allocated all kinds of funding for new DNA techs in the lab, and they started running stuff. When I took DNA to the lab, I could have a rush letter from the governor and have somebody sitting in jail waiting on this shit to come back, and it would still take 3 or 4 months. So Jindal hired all these professionals, and shout out to him. I was supposed to be the speaker there May 9th for their convention at the state police headquarters, but I think KJ's going to get it. But he hired all these techs, and then they allocated the funding because that shit's not cheap. And now it's advanced a lot since that time. So what's happening is they're getting grant money to go in and test everything that's in their rooms. Now it takes a while because you got shit 30 years, some 50 years old, and you got to find it, test it, and then now with all the genetic, what do they call it, Jim? The family testing.
Yeah, the DNA.
Familiar DNA testing and all that. So I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing, a wonderful, wonderful tool. And this is a horrible story. They need to go to murder fucking Bayou.
Well, through investigative means, detectives were able to identify the infant's parents, which we already said, the 50-year-old Andrew Carrier and 50-year-old Inga Johansson Carrier, who were living in Louisiana at the time of the death, which is why the charges were brought there. So the charges bring closure to the child, and it also shows the development of processing DNA and where we are now versus where we were 30 years ago. These agencies can work together and can achieve a successful completion. That's Louisiana Police State Police Trooper Kate Stiegel, talking about what was able to happen here. So not only were they able to bring this new technology, they were also able to work cross agencies and really cross states with the folks in Mississippi to make it
Shout outs for them for making it happen. But geographically, Picayune is not far. It's just not really far at all across the Louisiana state line from like the Slidell area. So, but somebody must have brought it to their attention, and whoever that, hats off to you. Tell a sweet baby, rest in peace. All right, so y'all, I'm gonna take you to another one. Now, you don't want to talk about some effed up stuff, okay? Go to ZocDoc.com, find you a good doctor, lots of good reviews and everything for whatever ails you or whatever you may need. I can assure you, this asshole that I'm going to tell you about, this doctor, is not on ZocDoc.com. And remember, use code RLRC. But so there was a resident doctor who was training in family medicine, and he was found to have an alleged, that's our favorite word on the show, huge cache of child porn. But he also allegedly recorded children as young as 6 years old using a camera hidden in a bracelet as he examined them. Dr. Bradford David Farrick, 32 years old, of Amherst, Massachusetts, was ordered held without bail on Tuesday. He had been completing his residency at Bay State Franklin Family Medicine Center since last summer. The U.S. attorney comes out and says, today we allege that this doctor, who held a position of trust with access to children, maintained child sexual abuse material. All right. So the first incident that led to the discovery of Farrick's alleged depravity came when police reviewed 3 cyber tests from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. None of y'all tell you about that. That is a beautiful group. They just basically troll online for anybody that has keywords about children or young kids naked and shit like that. So what they do, that center, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and their algorithm, however they figure it out, and I've had a lot of cases I worked with them, so they take that tip and they turn it over, right, for it to be investigated. So it suggested a Google account was uploading child pornography. Files have been uploaded to an IP address in Syracuse, New York area, and Farrick was attending the University of New York, Upstate Medical University there. More tips reportedly found illicit material uploaded at an IP address connected to Farrick's parents' home. Investigators searching the home found 61 electronic devices, including hidden camera systems and memory cards holding thousands of images and videos purportedly showing child pornography. They also found, like I said, numerous hidden camera devices. They found one in the bathroom of a house belonging to Farrick's relatives who have 2 toddlers. The camera was designed to be masqueraded as a wall outlet. The box for the camera was found at the parents' house, right? So he, you can get all this shit on spycam.com or whatever. I have a lot of for the business stuff I used to do. So you can get an electrical outlet, go in and swap it out with the one that's there, but it's got a camera, but this jackass doesn't throw the box away. Anyway, he's just absolutely a monster, and they are going to give him prison justice. And I mean, you go to the bathroom, you like to think that somebody doesn't have a spy cam on you, but 2 toddlers? I mean, you had to get into these people's home. You knew they had 2 toddlers. You had to order that camera. Not to mention all the shit they found him with and everything else. And he's a doctor examining kids with a bracelet on with a camera. That is the devil. Period.
I want to throw up hearing that.
This motherfucker needs to get
so what will
what
life in prison for that? What's the worst?
I don't know what it is in Massachusetts. Hopefully, I mean he's going to die in prison. In Louisiana, it would be the possession of the porn. Just one image is 2 years for having it and 2 years for. So like, if I have child porn and I receive it, that's 2 years. If I send it out to somebody else, that's 2 years. If you got 400 something images, you do the math. But
that's Louisiana, yeah, but not Massachusetts.
Yeah, right. But secretly recording people, I don't give a shit. This dude, he's never going to have a jury trial unless they're going to give him 500 years anyway, because you could put him in front of that jury or tell this case in front of the jury where you're a doctor, right? That's why I said this fucker wasn't on ZocDoc.com. You're a doctor and you're 32 years old. And you're filming now. And he works at a kid's clinic. And can you get your kid undressed, please? And I can see him in his Superman underwear or whatever and doing it. Come on, man. That dude.
And I mean, as sick as this guy obviously was, how could no one around him through med school, through residency, all of these things he had to, how could nobody figure out what the heck was wrong?
I'll tell you why. We'll go back to Denny Perkins in this parish that I worked with every day and everything else. There's 2 types of child offenders like this. What we call preferential is one profile, and situational. Okay, situational, the profile shows that's like the ice cream man riding around the neighborhood snatches kid situation. Right? They don't think their crimes out ahead of time. They're not very intelligent or whatever. This guy obviously was preferential. He had a certain age group he liked to offend against. He groomed his victims, or he uses his position and power authority as their doctor to get them in and do that stuff. So he puts on, we all wear masks, right? Sometimes, right? But this fucker was wearing a mask every day. And you don't just start at 32 years old. He's been doing this forever.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck him. Murder by E.
Gross.
I wish they put him in a cell with your business.
He might.
Yes, that would be good.
Okay, so we're moving on to our On This Day in Crime segment, and this is March 22nd, and we're going to bring you back to some of the most historic crimes that have taken place on that day. And in 1956, Martin Luther King Jr. was convicted for violating anti-boycott laws in Alabama. He had organized a boycott of the Montgomery City buses.
Yeah, I remember.
Of course, that was a big day in history.
Yeah, I wasn't alive, but I remember the story. Yeah.
In 1991, Pamela Smart was convicted of the murder of her husband, Gregory Smart. She conspired with her 16-year-old student, William Flynn, and his 3 friends.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I remember this.
Yes, I remember that.
She was putting the business on the students and got the students to kill her husband.
And if you're curious whether she's still alive, she is. She's serving a life sentence for
Must be an easy
that conviction.
prison.
Yeah. 1995, Colin Ferguson is sentenced to life in prison for the murder of 6 people and for injuring 19 more on the Long Island
I remember
Railroad.
this, too. This is like one of the first mass shootings that I remember.
I, for quite a few years, took the LIRR, as they call it, from Long Island into Penn Station in New York City. I kind of remember this. What year is 95?
95.
Well, it was in 93, but he was convicted in 95.
So I was 23 years old. It would have been before Fox News was out, CNN was out, or whatever. But I remember it. I just remember thinking, "Holy shit!" You're locked inside a train like that. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah. 2017, a series of shootings known as the Schofield Rothschild shootings take place in Manhattan County, Wisconsin. The man who committed the shootings, Mr. Vang, had been in a dispute with his wife before shooting 2 of her coworkers, her lawyer, and a police officer. He died after he was shot in the police standoff. Sarah's law in Wisconsin was passed as a result of that crime.
Horrible crime. Shitty guy. He went to Murder by You. Shout out to my people in Wisconsin. Love all y'all. I'll see you at the end of April when I come turkey hunting.
And our girl doing some time up in Wisconsin.
Yes. I'm going to go see Shabizzle and make a
you?
side trip. Yeah. I'm going to send her some JPay money. JPay. What? They call it something else now. You just put money on books back then. Now you can do it electronically. I am not telling you I've been researching how to do it, but maybe I have.
I want to see her new Hannibal Lecter mask that they're making her wear.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glaze, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had.
Either of you guys on TikTok?
So funny you should mention that. I got sent I'm actually, Real Life for Crime has a TikTok thing with some pretty funny shit on it. Never done the post myself, but I got sent one by a lady who has over 500,000 followers this week. And she did a whole TikTok about Woody Overton and Real Life for Crime.
She did. So Xi Jinping's probably looking at that right now.
Probably so.
Trying to
I'm going to go on her TikTok.
decide where what China's going to do about you, Woody.
That's the one thing. Even my most hardcore friends who never listened to Real Life Real Crime and don't do internet shit, they all about that TikTok. I need to watch it more, evidently.
It's crazy. Well, if you guys were on TikTok, you might know about a TikToker, an influencer by the name of Taylor Frankie Paul. No?
Man, woman.
Well,
Taylor can be a guy's name.
She's
Frankie
a
Paul is
woman.
definitely
She's a woman. Well, Taylor was arrested for alleged domestic violence in Utah, but I want to give you a little bit of a background here and tell you what's happening since she was released. Okay, so Taylor Frankie Paul is a popular Mormon mommy TikToker known for her, quote, soft swinging lifestyle. She was arrested for alleged domestic violence in Utah. Officers arrested Paul, she's 28, last month after responding to a call at about 11 p.m. on a Friday night. She faces misdemeanor charges of assault, criminal mischief, and commission of domestic violence in the presence of a child. That's all according to the Harriman, Utah Police Department. The evidence also suggests that during the incident, Ms. Paul's minor child was injured by an action of Ms. Paul. We don't know exactly what that action was. I do suggest that everybody go and take a look on TikTok or just Google Taylor Frankie Paul.
We'll post it on the Facebook.
You will get some of the photos that we've got.
Cancel that, y'all. Go to Real Life Real Crime Daily's Facebook page.
There you go. We're going to have a
Jim
picture.
Chapman will make sure the love is there.
Okay, there you go.
Maybe the kid got hit in the face with a booby.
Well, okay, so
It's not impossible.
So Paul was booked in Harriman and released pending her court date. Her status as a social media influencer has no bearing or impact on the investigation or outcome of the case, according to the Harriman Police Department. I don't know why.
Except for we wouldn't be talking about it.
Why it would. Well, Taylor shares 2 children with her ex-husband, whose name is Tate Paul, with whom she announced her divorce last May in a live stream while opening up about their soft swinging lifestyle.
I really need to know what that means.
And implicating some other TikTok influencers were involved. So I guess
they were involved in soft swinging also?
Yes.
I would assume soft swinging is what? I know what swinging is.
You don't screw. You actually just like make out and stuff. And
So maybe it's like exhibitionists. Or you just do it in front of each other?
no, you don't do it at all. Soft swinging's like kissing and stuff.
I understand, but you're not
But no,
screwing.
penetration.
Do you
I
get to
think
see
you
skin?
I think you get several bases there.
Oh, because swinging means you're
you
with their
swap it.
spouse.
Yeah.
You're just not doing
Yeah, it's what our girlfriend from the Laverne Police Department in Tennessee was.
But she did it with everybody. She
Didn't want a soft swing. She wanted a hard swing. But if you remember,
got
her
it hard.
husband
Oh, that's
was
right.
uncomfortable with the hard swing. And
Yeah, okay.
And so,
All right.
anyway.
I'm clear now.
Okay, I almost
Thank you.
almost presented an
y'all-
update on that story today.
If
But
y'all have
we'll
any
put
comments
the-
about soft swinging,
anyway, here, let me
please
explain what's going on with Taylor. So her arrangement,
soft swinging.
Taylor's arrangement with her ex was that they wouldn't go all the way. So they were, again, soft swinging. But she admitted that she did step out of the agreement. So
she busted the rules on soft
her
swinging.
soft went to a hard swing. And it went to a hard swing with her new boyfriend, a gentleman by the name of Dakota Mortensen. She introduced him in a video back in July and revealed him as the guy she, quote unquote, cheated with.
Yeah.
So Taylor is now resuming her regularly scheduled TikTok content following last month's arrest. And I caught a little bit of
Did you?
Taylor. Yeah, I did. I caught a little bit of a recent post of Taylor's.
How'd that work out for you?
Well,
Is it spank bank material?
it let's just say that there's there's not a lot of redeeming value to this content other than
after today, she's going to be worldwide famous because we'll be sponsored on RLRC Daily.
Yeah. So, so you can go and watch that. In that,
is there nudity in it?
In the video, no, it's no nudity.
You sound disappointed,
but
Mike.
in the video, Paula gets out of bed with Mortensen. She brushes her teeth. She gets dressed. She shaves her armpit. She has breakfast with her morning medication and heads off to the gym with her beau before getting groceries at Trader Joe's. It's all very Americana, except for the painted-on outfit she's wearing.
How many minutes of your life did you waste on that?
It's the good thing about TikTok is these are not long videos. Okay, according to the Salt Lake County District Court records, Taylor entered a plea of not guilty during her initial court appearance on March 1st. She's since updated her Instagram followers that she's working on, quote, healing and, quote, therapy amid this, quote, very difficult time. The last few weeks have been the hardest weeks of my life, she wrote on her Instagram story.
That's because she busted the rules.
I want to thank all of those who have been by my side, those who reached out, and the strangers that stopped to hug me. I've silently been working on healing therapy, a blessing, starting classes. And I got the antidepressants to help me during this time. Well, it's good that she got the meds on top of that. I'm starting to feel progress and will be back to work soon. Again, thank you for those who have given me grace at this difficult time.
What kind of job does she have?
A pretrial protective order for Mortensen, that's the boyfriend, was denied at his request according to court docs, but one was entered on behalf of the children. Meanwhile, Paul is ordered not to consume alcohol, so she's been cut off.
What's going on up there with the Mormons, man? Those are my people. I lived in Salt Lake City. You had to go to an alcohol store. You had to get.
You have to be a member, yeah.
Yeah, you have to be a member. And
And if you're not LDS, that's difficult. On Friday, the state removed the outstanding protective order with some stipulations, including that Paul cannot be in the presence of Mortensen and her children at the same time. This goes back to the injury that we don't really know about that happened during
Booby in the head.
So she's not allowed to discuss the case with the kids while it is.
But she can discuss on TikTok.
Progress. She's not discussing the case on TikTok, but she's just working at getting herself back out there and reuniting with her adoring friends who.
Inquiring minds want to know what kind of job she has.
So there you go. That's the story of soft swinging and occasionally hard swinging TikToker Taylor Frankie Paul.
Now I know what soft swinging means. All right. Well, there you go. So here we go to another one. And this one, I won't be laughing at. Shout out to the district attorney, pretty darn good friend of mine. I'm known for 25 plus years. Scott Perilou in the 21st Judicial, y'all. This story comes out, and I know we've had a lot of interest in it. It's a freaking sad story, but we're going to get into it. And I know Jim's got some things he wants to say, and I have some things I want to say. But in Amite, Louisiana, which is about 15 miles north of Hammond, probably an hour or so away from where we're at now, Ryan Clark, 34, was sentenced to 35 years in prison and must undergo chemical castration after being convicted of second-degree rape and 2 counts of molestation of a juvenile. And he was convicted, y'all, after a confidential source came forward and told the cops about his sexual relationships he was having with a child for more than a year. And there's also possible second victim. So my boy, 21st Judicial District Attorney Scott Perilou announced the sentencing Tuesday. The first 25 years of Clark's sentence will be served without benefits, meaning he can't get out and shit, y'all. But he will receive credit for time served. Along with jail time, Clark will agree to make no contact with the victims, which is standard, register as sex offender for life, which is standard, forfeit all parental rights, standard, But what's not standard is when he is released, he will be subject to chemical castration. Clark pleaded guilty to charges of second-degree rape when the victim is prevented from resisting due to force or threats, 2 counts of molestation of a juvenile under 13, and sexual battery. Now, chemical castration, I never really knew the process. The master of all researchers, Jim Chapman, has done it. But I want to throw this out. Sex is 99.9% mental. And I one time had an 83-year-old priest that got a confession out of, and he told me everything. And he said, Woody, I'm 83, but I'm not dead. He said, I can't rape him anymore, but I rape him every day in my mind.
But was he chemically castrated?
I don't know. I think his dick was dead.
Oh. Okay, well, let me tell you what.
Stop.
Let me tell you what chemical castration is, and first of all, there's 2 types. There is surgical castration, which is where they basically go in and they remove the gonads,
Balls,
the balls for those unmedically trained.
Yeah.
And then there's chemical castration, where they basically use drugs, and these drugs cause certain reactions in the body. Now, when you use them on male folks, they can reduce the sex drive, they reduce the sexual fantasies, and they reduce the capacity for sexual arousal. So not only can you get it up, you don't even have the desire to get it up.
So it helps mentally.
It reduces the even desire to want to have sex.
On the polygraph, part of the a big deal in Louisiana doesn't use it, but for most states, if you get released as a sex offender, you have to go through intense 3-part. It's a 3-part where they monitor you. One is your probation officer, one is a caseworker, and the third is a polygraphist, and you have to be tested. Are you offending mentally? Have you been around any kids? Whatever. But they have a test where they put their dick to like a Doppler radar, and they show them child porn images. I'm serious. They show them child porn images to see if they get aroused.
Yep. You
get aroused, you get swung back to the jail cell.
So this pill will supposedly and I'm sure it works. It takes away even the desire to want to have sex. If for some reason it doesn't work, it also takes away your ability to even get it up, even if you wanted to. Females, the effects are similar, but the drugs also deflate the breast glands and expand the size of the nipple.
Really?
Yep.
Has any female ever had it done? I guess so.
Sure. I mean, they got female rapists.
Well, shit, Christina Constance just got it. I'm about to do an episode on her, but she needs that shit. There you go.
I have to admit, I'm a little bit disappointed.
Well,
because it just sounds so much better, chemical castration, than what it actually. Like, I'm picturing you're taking a quart of antifreeze and pouring it on the guy's unit. Yeah. Because there should be some pain involved.
I agree, but the thing is, even if they chop it off, it doesn't matter. They still mentally offend. Now, the only thing I don't know, unless they hook the dick to a radar and they give them this castration and showing the pictures, maybe that's how they prove that it helps turn down the mind.
Possibly,
the mind is the biggest sexual organ you have.
Possibly, and the first use of the chemical castration surprised me. It was 1944, the first time it was used. So it's been used for.
It was used on Bill Clinton in 1996, wasn't it?
Ask Monica Lewinsky. That's why he used a cigar. So that's my problem. If it doesn't turn off the brain, they can still use the fingers, the tongue, the nose, ears, whatever you want to use.
Right. Well, it supposedly turns off the brain, so I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah, I moved towards. I vote for using actual
So whatever company makes that drug, if you'd like to sponsor us, we'll have Woody try it out.
Hey, how do you know I'm not already trying it? That's why I was sick last week.
My wife will submit me for the trial.
We're going to tell you about a shocking situation that happened at the Rouge General Hospital, which is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
My peeps over there.
Yep. So a nurse has filed charges after a patient threw hot coffee on her and attacked her. Now, the patient had taken the lid off a coffee cup, set it on the table, and the nurse approached her to take the coffee cup away, thinking the patient was going to pour it on the floor. This was like a mental patient. The patient threw the hot coffee on the nurse and grabbed her by the hair, pinning her beneath the patient. The patient had such a tight grip on the nurse's hair that some of her hair was pulled out at the root. Another nurse stepped in to help her coworker, but neither nurse could get free of the patient. The incident occurred in the ICU area of the hospital, which is locked and secured, so the nurses could not call for help. A maintenance man eventually saw the attack and called in security. The maintenance man restrained the patient, freed the nurses, and by the time security arrived, the three had the patient secured. Now, Baton Rouge General officials say they have a zero-tolerance policy when it comes to patients hurting any member of staff, and the nurse did have the option to press charges, which she did, for assault.
Good for her.
Now, Baton Rouge General Police responded when she wanted to press charges, and they took down the report. And the Baton Rouge General does confirm that the patient still remains a patient at the hospital. Meanwhile, the nurse did suffer moderate physical injuries, including scratches and cuts, and was treated by the Baton Rouge General Health Team at the hospital.
Hey, let me tell you something. There's nothing moderate about having your hair ripped out by the fucking roots. That shit hurts, which also tells me this patient is a female, not male. They never said that, but females get a handful of that hair when they go to town. You ever watch two females fight? 9 times out of 10, if they can get a handful of hair and rip it out, I'm sure they must have just handcuffed her to the bed after that.
Oh, yeah. They
restrained her.
They probably gave her a little shot of something.
Yeah.
A little feel good.
Yeah, well, I mean,
a little Thorazine for the ride home.
To them, and shout out to the maintenance man for helping them. I mean, they're really good people. I want to give a shout out actually to all docs, especially the ones on ZogDoc.com.
And nurses.
And nurses too, because I guess 13 years ago today, I was incapacitated in the hospital. I was never supposed to walk, talk, or work or do anything again. Technically, I was going to be a vegetable, but they got shit fixed. So then, and here we are. But I was in the hospital for like 3 weeks.
Well, we thank y'all for listening to this episode, and
Yes.
please continue to share these episodes. Tell people about it on social media. It is how we grow here.
Yes, and we are growing phenomenally, and it's love. It's all because of y'all. Thank you so much. We're going to bring you more and more. I mean, we're never going to run out of crime stories, right? We're going to bring you more and more. And we know y'all are enjoying it. Please continue to comment, like Mike said, on everything so we can help bring you a better show. And we love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agavino.
And for Real Life, Real Crime Daily, peace.
Shabusiness.